Okay, so I'd like to just switch gears for just a moment. There seems to be more and more activity on the internet with webisodes and things of that nature. Where do you see the future of that heading?
That's interesting. It's on a lot of people's minds these days. I've certainly been asked things like that recently. I think it's fascinating. I think it's very exciting because we're in the middle of a revolution here.
Yeah.
We really are. Our entire concept of communication, of entertainment is going to change. The internet is going to get stronger and stronger in terms of what it offers and what people do with it. I think right now there's a lot of experimentation. I think people don't really know exactly what good business models are right now. I think production companies, networks, etc., are trying to put content up on the web, and they have different business models. Advertisers are trying to figure out what to do. They're trying to figure out how to work with advertising on the internet and so on, and what they do with television, for example. And there are all these different business models. I don't think there's any. I don't think we know right now which business models are going to work and which are not. So there's a lot of experimenting going on, but that's exciting. It's because when you're in that unknown, but you know that the outcome may be very, very positive and very solid and very strong. It's an exciting time. Which business models will work and which won't, I don't know. But I do anticipate that maybe 15 or 20 years from now, it just might be that we don't have separate television and separate internet.
Right, I've heard that before. Yeah.
I think it's possible that it may be something that's joined. I think it's possible that we may, 15, 20 years from now, not even know the distinction between what's television, what's internet. It'll just be one thing. Mm-hmm. That's perhaps where we're headed. So, right now we're experimenting. We're trying to see what will work, what won't, and headed that direction. I think 15 to 20 years from now, it might be what I just said it would be. Yeah. The big question is, what's going to happen? What's going to be the state of affairs 5, 10 years from now? In the interim, in the transition period between the now and the merger between TV and internet. Mm-hmm. That is also unclear. But one thing's for sure, we have a lot of young people who are growing up incredibly internet savvy, almost addicted to the internet. Yeah. Some of whom don't even watch television. So clearly, our business models have to change, our communication has to change, our entertainment has to change to reflect that, because they, of course, are our future buyers and our future watchers. Mm-hmm. So we have to adapt. Everybody else has to adapt, yeah. And it's going to happen one way or the other. But I think this time is very exciting. The only time this has happened in recent history, even in the last 100 years, which is not a long time. Right. This has happened twice already. About 100 years ago, we had the introduction of radio. Right. And believe it or not, that was the first time there was mass communication available to billions and millions of people on the planet, which was not the case before that. So, we'd have millions of families every night gathered around the radio, listening to the radio. Mm-hmm. That was their entertainment, that was their communication, that was their news. And in addition to news and music, what did people get really good at? They got really good at storytelling, right, on the radio. Okay, and that's what we're trying to do on the internet. There's that famous story from the 1930s, I believe, when the War of the Worlds was...
I was thinking of that.
Exactly.
Orson Welles.
Orson Welles, famous actor, director. He, early on in his career, adapted the novel by H.G. Wells, War of the Worlds. Some of our viewers may have recently seen the new version, the Spielberg version with Tom Cruise and Dakota Fanning. When that show was broadcast on radio, it is estimated, well, millions of people were listening to this in this country, and it is estimated that at least half of the people listening truly thought that an actual Martian invasion of Earth was going on, and people left their houses, they packed belongings in cars and started driving away, just like you actually see in the movie War of the Worlds. But that's what was happening live in our country, and there was mass panic. And that's how good storytelling became on radio.
Yeah.
And then came television.
Yeah.
And that was a revolution. Now it wasn't just sound to billions of people, but it was pictures as well.
Right.
And it must have been very exciting to be living in the 1950s when television shows were so new and people got so creative.
Yeah.
And they really made this golden age of television. It was so brand new, so exciting, and television, came to flourish. And here we are with the internet now. Okay, and what's going to happen? Well, certainly things are going to change. It's just as exciting a time.
Mm-hmm.
Mass communication. The difference, by the way, between radio and TV before and the internet now is while radio and television stayed in the hands of a few, the internet is in the hands of the many.
Right.
It's the public.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can put a YouTube video online. Anyone can put content online if they want to, which is amazing.
Yeah.
The YouTube phenomenon is an amazing phenomenon. So it's not in the hands of the few necessarily anymore. So it's the masses that are going to dictate what happens with this new medium.
Yeah.
And it's very exciting.
Well, the good thing for everybody involved is no matter the changes in terms of technology, people are always going to want to be entertained, and so there will always be new possibilities for that. And I agree with you. It's going to be really exciting to see where it goes with this, as we're kind of in the middle of the changes that are happening right now.